Hey everyone, I'm John Sisson, and today we're taking a look at the Tokina 14-20mm f2 lens. Now I'm very excited to try out this lens, mainly because it's my first ever Tokina lens review. And what's special about it altogether is that it has a constant f2 aperture from your 14mm all the way down to 20mm. Now I know it may not seem like a lot of zoom range, but it is a lens primarily targeted towards landscape, architectural photographers, and even journalistic photographers who require low light lenses. Now it is made specifically for the Canon and Nikon mount, but today I'm using it on the Sony a6500 via an adapter. Now before I get into the review itself, let's just take a quick look around the lens. The lens has a plastic and metal construction with a metal mount, which has some form of weather sealing with the rubber gasket. There are rubber zoom and focus rings, a focus distance window, a quick push and pull clutch to change from autofocus to manual focus, and is also supplied with a pedal type lens hood. It also accepts 82mm filters. Now I'm using this lens on the Sony a6500, so if you're an E-mount user, you'll need an adapter to use this lens. But if you're a Canon or Nikon user, all you need to do is get the lens in the correct mount. Now the lens weighs approximately 725 grams, which isn't too heavy given the lens's specifications. But what I love and hate about this lens is the push and pull clutch mechanism to change from autofocus to manual focus. Now while I love this idea, which makes it quicker to change from manual focus to autofocus or vice versa, it sometimes gets stuck and I have to wriggle it to make sure that it goes into the right direction that I want it to. Now when I was using the manual focus ring, it was a bit loose but precise when I was trying to get the focus right. I'm more of a fan with having a damp focusing ring, but that's really down to personal preference. When zooming in and out with the lens, you'll notice the front element extend and retract. This can quite possibly suck up dust and make it become trapped within the lens, which may be a hassle to get rid of, so it might be best to use a protective filter to prevent this from happening. The lens can focus as close as 28 centimeters, and with regards to autofocus speed, it was quick for an adapted lens. Just a quick note, it will be faster on the camera that it is made for, which is either Canon or Nikon. I was using this on the Sony a6500 and it was consistently accurate, which is a big plus, but the only downside is that you don't get all the autofocusing modes. Now it's not a huge deal, but you do have wide, center, and flexible as options. Continuous autofocus worked very well in stills, but unfortunately is useless when it comes to video. Now the standout feature of this lens is the f2 aperture. Like I said earlier, it's great for low light situations and gives you that added flexibility of not having to increase your ISO, so you have cleaner images. This lens is capable of producing some incredibly sharp images. In the centers, I can't really fault its sharpness, but stopping down would make it even better at the edge of the frame. This lens isn't immune to distortion, which is evident especially at the wide end. Colors appeared vibrant and out of focus blur was good for a wide angle lens. And there was a few issues with flare and ghosting. All in all, for the price that you're paying and factoring in its unique specifications, this looks like an awesome lens for photographers looking for a crop sensor wide angle lens. The Tokina 14-20mm f2 is an interesting lens, and because of its wide angle focal length and aperture, it makes it rather unique for photographers who require the flexibility to shoot in low light conditions. Given its price point, it shouldn't be out of reach for many photographers, but while this may be the case, it's more of a niche lens and really depends on what you need it for. I would recommend this for people who shoot landscapes, scenic shots, architectural photography, even for people who shoot journalistic shots and event photographers who require a lens that can shoot in low light conditions without having to pump up your ISO too much, or if a flash is unavailable to them. Now what's surprising though is that even though I'm adapting this lens on the Sony a6500, the focusing was rather fast. But to be honest, focusing speed will vary from camera to camera. If you're a Canon or Nikon shooter, it should actually be a bit faster, but when it comes to the all-important image quality, the lens performed rather well, with it being very sharp, especially in the centers, and surprisingly good out of focus blur. Now,
If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you already own one, let me know what you think of it. And remember to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for more Tokina lens reviews and tutorials. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more photo updates and sample photos. And don't forget to check the description below for more information about the lens and purchasing links. Until then, happy shooting and thanks for watching.